When creating the forest, we are going to need a lot of materials. We'll need some water and watercolors, and with that we'll need a brush. We'll need a white piece of paper and a brown piece of paper, scissors, and a glue sponge. So we're going to be using all of these materials today. We might also find benefit in using a pencil. I'm going to be using a marker, so you're sure to be able to see what I'm doing. The first thing you're going to do is draw 5 dots. These dots are going to be, they can't be even to each other. So if I draw one here and one here, can I draw another one here? No, because it's right below this. So I need to scoot it over a little bit. There might be nice. Can I draw one right here? No, because it's going to be even to this one. We want it to have its own space. And I'll draw one more. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay, now we're going to actually do this backwards. We're making a forest, but we're going to add the shadows first and the trees second. Now, your shadows can be any color. You can use blue, you can use black. It's really up to you. I think what I'm going to do for mine is add blue. So I'm going to go into my blue with a little water and my brush, and we're going to make horizontal lines. Horizontal lines are from side to side. So you're going to start on those dots and go all the way off the page. Start on the dot, go all the way off the page. Noticing that I'm going in the same direction for all of my dots. Start, move all the way off the page. That one's a long line, huh? That's all we're doing with the watercolors. Now it's time to make the trees. That's all we're doing with the watercolors. Now it's time to add the trees. So, brown paper, and we're going to make kind of a straight log for the trees. Now, are trees absolutely perfectly straight? No. So it's okay if your vertical logs here are a little wonky or not so straight. Okay, looking good. How many of these am I going to need? If you said 5, you're right, because I need 5 trees. I have 5 shadows. Now I need my glue sponge. For those of you who remember how to use a glue sponge, now I need my glue sponge. I'm going to take my brown pieces and press into the glue sponge. Look at that. I'm adding a little bit at a time. I'm really pressing down. Press, 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 press. I'm getting a lot of glue on the back, but not too much that it goes all over the place. Just enough to hold down nice and firm. Now I'll find one of my dots, and I'm going to put it on top of the dot, but this time I need to make sure that this line goes vertical, so it goes up and down. One thing I want to point out is that this is too long, and that's perfect. We want it to go right off the page. Later on, we'll be able to trim off the tops so that it fits on the page a little bit better. So I started on the dot and went all the way up. I'm going to continue to do that for all of my trees. I didn't make it all the way to the top here, so what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of a piece and place it right up at the top to finish that off. And then I'll clip off all of the tops of my trees to line up with the edge of my paper. Now, what I can do with these is make some diagonal branches if I want. I'm not going to make a ton of them. I kind of like what I have now. I have the horizontal shadows. I have the vertical trees. And now I can add a couple of diagonal branches. So branches have to be a little bit smaller. And these are a little bit smaller than my trunks. And I might even have to go in and actually cut them down a little bit because branches are smaller And they can overlap. You can go on top of another tree if you'd like. And we aren't going to add too many of these, maybe 2, 3, 4, something like that. Okay, vertical trunks, horizontal shadows, and diagonal branches. Now we are ready for the next step.